Vici Gaming, we've kind of seen what we expected from them, right? The draft, the play style.
Yes.
While BeastCoast, we had slightly higher expectations for this group stage from them. All right,
for sure. At least in this game, they had BeastCoast kind of cornered, where you have thrown so many problems in the draft that they need to respond. Pretty much the only choice they got was getting this Tiny on the mid, possibly Dragonite, but then again you have Ancient Apparition, which counters a lot of the heroes. You have 3 strength cores into the Timbersaw. A lot of the spirits were not available because of the puck. So Vici Gaming, even though they didn't have the last pick, the way they drafted, it looks like they did.
Already the aggression comes from BC. They found a target, whirling that out, but he's already dead. Down goes old 11. Great first blood, and they might be able to pick up a little more here. Cold Feet thrown out. Ancient Apparition gonna zone out the Tiny Earth. Spirit rolls back from Chris Luck as well. Everything resets and calms down, but BeastCoast, the start that they desired with that long wraparound move in towards the mid lane.
Nicely done. First death for 11. Whenever he doesn't have a good start, you know, my man kind of struggles. Like, well, let's see what happens in this one. Timbersaw throughout this tournament looked very good. Stinger.
Yeah, that Cold Feet holds him in place. He was trying that. Gets the bounty rune. A 3 for... Oh, so it's a 4-0 bounty rune start for BeastCoast as well, even if they lose the Viper. And Schofield, it looks like he'll be tracked back by PYW. Goes for the TP, and he stuns. No, 4 seconds for the roll to come back up.
20 seconds in, they have 2 heroes in the base, but the good thing is they picked up 4 bounty runes, as you mentioned. So a lot of gold, like you can invest in the early items from the start. We see more and more carries, just overall anyone pretty much picking up the early stick, just magic stick first starting item, no matter what. Keep
yourself sustained in these side lanes in particular. Well, mid there we see Tiny against Puck, already off to a pretty good start. And top lane Stinger, slapped by old 11 as we do see some lane swaps coming out, right? Vici Gaming putting the Timber Earth Spirit top instead of bottom.
Yeah, so Stinger will need to go back to the top lane, walk, already TP'd, the 2 deaths already on him.
And then bottom lane, Whisper and Sko here up against Poyo with DY. So the reason for this lane swap, TB and AA being put bottom lane, what are they trying to dodge? As a Shackles and a Skewer back under tower. DY taking some heavy hits here. I mean, Shadow Shaman's basically a tower himself, giving the kill to Whispers. Magnus. A 2-2 start. BeastCoast really setting the pace of this game very early on.
Now, BeastCoast maybe thinks that with Viper playing the top lane, you have a break mechanic with Nether Toxin, it should be enough, but Wraith King, he's not going to be able to farm too much in this lane. Like, he's going to get pressure. We can already see he's sitting at the 3 CS, so things might need to swap right now. Ancient Apparition, TP's to the bottom lane, Terrorblade already has Band of Elven Skin, something that carries these days usually by, not Gloves of Haste, not Boots, but it's pretty much always Band of Elven Skin if you're Agi, into Gloves, and then assemble the Power Treads.
A little bit later on, yeah. But it's an interesting concept, though, like you're saying, is they are consciously deciding to kind of sack K1, right? His early laning stage isn't going to be particularly good, so this is going to give a lot more emphasis onto Whisper, onto Chris Luck to try and get that momentum going in the mid game. While K1, we know how quickly he can farm, as Poyo, with that Metamorphosis, finds Schofield.
It needs to be careful. That early point in Reflection, the extra slow, could potentially set things up for a Cold Feet, maybe even a body block. Shadow Shaman, not the fastest hero, even with the Boots of Speed, sitting at 330 movement speed. Do we have any small camps block on a mid lane? We don't. This is something that teams have been doing lately. Just block it so that you can't farm it. You can't stack it. Tiny, Chris Luck will go for that bounty rune, refill the bottle. Puck against Tiny, pretty even matchup. I've seen it go both ways.
Yeah.
Because if Puck makes a mistake, Tiny can blow him up, and now he TP's back line. This is very expensive. It's a 100 gold TP to a mid lane.
Roll blocked out. Good forward movement from K1 to stop the Earth Spirit from slipping away from them. And Stinger there proving how potent that Viper can be in the lane. And here's that little kill on Schofield bottom lane. Whisper tried to skewer them back, but Metamorphosis, such a massive amount of damage from the Terrorblade. Old 11 currently top of the CS, having a pretty free lane up there. K1 getting salved up by Stinger. Definitely interested to see where Chris Luck decides to rotate and if he comes up top to help, because K1's being run at.
Viper's out of mana, so there's not going to be too much pressure on 11. He's already level 4, has a 202 build. You're playing at the strength core. You want to put an extra point in Verling that if possible.
Schofield down there, trying to make sure they can't get any more pulls going. And Magnus having an okay time, but across the board, Vici Gaming very likely considering this a laning stage win in the first 4 or 5 minutes. Even with that first blood and all the bounty runes going the way of BeastCoast, as they do get the shackles, skewer on the Terrorblade, changing targets, focusing on Poyo instead, but Schofield's going to get run down. All the final hits coming through. And DY gets to take down the Fairy Fire for Poyo, keeps him alive, he's fast enough with the brown boots to get away from Whisper.
And the healing salve on top of it, so he's good. The Terrorblade sitting at 12 armor. Yes, you've seen that correctly.
12?
For people who don't play Dota, they tune in and they probably wonder themselves, why is this hero not taking any right-click damage?
The tower's hitting him, but it's not doing out. That's great, that is a stinger. Low HP, popping mangoes. Keep the poison attack, stacking on PYW. And K1 wants to make sure there isn't a roll away, just keeps taking that Earth Spirit down. The trouble being, old Levin here, you know, he's got Soul Ring, he's half HP. Plenty of sustain to match up 1v1 against the Wraith King.
I think it's okay for Viper, something that Panel talked about, where Viper goes in, they get a return kill, K1 gets the last hit, and then he comes back with the full HP, full mana. So pretty good trade for BeastCoast.
Yeah, not too shabby.
Because Viper has a position 5, he consumes a lot of mana. You need to be bringing out mangoes all the time. He has that Ring of Bassi, a lot of value just over time. Mana, regeneration, coil mid.
He'll dodge the roll though. Well done by Chris Luck to sidestep and doesn't get snapped as the kick back. Not successful from PYW. So Ori's first move there not paying off as Poyo taken down bottom lane.
Mid execution, not the greatest. If you're playing Earth Spirit against Tiny, that should count. Like Tiny should count as an extra stone remnant. Like you instead of having 7, you have 8.
Yeah, kick him around. Combo from Chris Luck. Stop the aggression again. And Ori orbs quite far forward. Well, it seems like K1 wants to get involved with this. Good roll away and a dodge on the Wraithfire Blast. A double damage rune and the illusory orb. Find K1 as an odd rotation from the Wraith King, but I guess top lane now is untenable.
We'll see the replay again. It's the
same
first
as before.
Yeah. Just making sure that everyone has seen it.
Rub it in into Schofield's face a little bit. Oh, Whisper, the main winner out of these lanes from BeastCoast, 3,200 net worth. Looks like he's heading into Arcane Boots. Can expect the Blink Dagger from him because a lot on his shoulders to try and carry this game when the laning stage does break down, because you want that space for the Wraith King. You know that he's going to need the Radiance timing to actually be able to contend with that TB as bottom the coil. Ori's in onto them, a killing spree for your puck, and a good snap and roll back in onto Magnus. 2 quick kills going out from that puck rotation.
Puck needs to be very active this game. He goes for these small items, 2 null talismans, a magic one going into power treads. Next item, pretty much always on puck, is that Witchblade, just to have that extra damage. You can solo kill the supports with it. You don't necessarily need a Blink Dagger. You have Timbersaw going in, creating a lot of chaos. Earth Spirit can pretty much do the same thing, so you don't necessarily need to get a Blink Dagger. Your job is pretty much going to be, I go in, I jump the Shadow Shaman if I have a vision of him, and straight up kill him.
Yeah, you're right. That's a great point. 2 heroes that can break vision, break smokes, play front line, and give you that nice advantage moving into the team fights. As BeastCoast trying to remedy some of their problems, moving around from lane to lane, but a great silence kick. PYW has bought himself enough time to get back to his triangle.
No, they will respect that. I thought they were going to go on Earth Spirit no matter what. Just AA showing up with 1 point in Vortex while stacking the triangle. For TB, TB will need to get away soon. Like right now, he has still some time left on meta, but 6, 7, 8 minutes in, you don't feel too comfortable. Tiny can easily burst you. He also has a haste rune. Good thing about is that Tiny does not have a TB called RP top.
Dodged out by Ori. And that orb is going to connect onto Whisper's Magnus. The whirling death with the magic damage from the puck, substantial. And Magnus didn't stand a chance. While Stinger, he's getting some stacks up on Ori, but now he's put himself in an awkward position, but it's opened up Chris Luck to come in. Tiny combo at the ready, towards the puck, Ori spotted. There's the toss, Avalanche in, the face shift and the dodge, the orb, not enough. Puck slaughtered, and Chris Luck hasted, finally gets some retribution onto that Ori puck.
And this time around, he's not going for any small items, just brown boots.
Like this.
Picked up the Faded Brooch as the neutral item to increase the movement speed, which Tiny needs. And then, after Bottle, getting up a Blink Dagger, and then he can upgrade the boots, possibly buy a Windlace. I want to see what kind of itemization he's going to go for this time around. When you're playing into TB, like, your right-click damage is not going to do that much. Not sure if Wraith King will be able to just carry the game, so you might need to get like if you I've seen different builds on Tiny. Like if you need a Force Staff, he can buy it from the mid lane, get E-Blade possibly.
Oh, and he just blows up PYW. It depends also how quickly he can keep these kills coming in his net worth as well, right? Because Echo Saber on Tiny with the Empower is also a great thing to have. Is that Dire Observer Ward?
Yes, you're right, actually. I forgot about the Empower, so probably going to go for the Echo Saber. That extra slow, the double hit with the cleave is going to do a ton of damage. Also against the illusions coming out from the TB. Right now, they're invading the triangle.
They spot out a real big stack there. Large Camp and Ancients for Chris Luck and Stinger to start working away.
They found it. Fairy's Trinket on Tiny.
The perfect item, but the roll from PYW. Vici Gaming want to crack back into this triangle area. Old 11 takes one down, and the TP's out for the rest of them. BeastCoast disengage.
They're completely fine with that. And he's not going to
hold
the jump
that
again. Fairy's Trinket.
Oh.
Well, Faded Brooch for him. I would prefer if he gets the Fairy Trinket, you know. Faded Brooch is great. You need that mana pool. You need that extra movement speed.
Who's got the Trinket? Stinger. That's not allowed. All right, it's just the ideal item on Tiny. We'll see if they do swap things around. Not for now. Like you say, Chris Luck holding on to it. Tome of Knowledge being held by the Shadow Shaman. Schofield knows he's died a fair few times. Doesn't want to give too much away to them and doesn't need the levels right here, right now. Just chucks the Serpent Wards onto the tier 1 with a catapult wave and get themselves that mirror movement because Vici Gaming have already taken the bottom tower.
Poyoyo has been doing well, only dying that one time in the laning stage, and now can transition into triangle. That was a big play there from BeastCoast, going in, stealing the stacks. Tiny gets all the last hits pretty much, and now has a phase boots. They're also invading once more near the outpost, stealing some of the stacks there.
Oh, Veil Viper. Something we saw, I think, maybe once or twice in South America. Very much it was that Tranquil's Wand, Medallion, Solar Crest, and then you think about luxury items after that point. But the Veil, when you pair it up with some of this magical damage coming through, you know, a big RP into that Viper Nether Toxin and even tiny combos, you do start to ramp the magic damage up quickly while Chris Luck showing mid lane, coiled and rolled. A big combo in here for Vici Gaming. He'll toss back the Earth Spirit, but he looks pretty dead to me. And from the back as well, Timbersaw wanting the Viper, gets the trade onto the Earth Spirit, but Old 11 there to tank up and a push towards the tier 1 tower with a double damage rune ready for Vici Gaming as well.
He can tank the tower with the Timbersaw, but they need to play either around the catapults or they need to have meta ready to be able to take down those towers. Terrorblade Dragonlance keeps farming in the triangle, doesn't have anything queued up after. Whenever you play against the Shaman Lion, you want to get the status resistance. There's long duration stuns, you're playing into RP, so I assume it's going to be SNY this game.
Yeah, very likely. Very likely.
Not too much value out of the Manta style, Illusion die to Hex. We'll have Cleave available as well coming out from the Magnus. We don't talk too much about the Wraith King, pretty standard stuff coming out from K1.
It is, right.
Just the face boots. Sometimes he doesn't even get like full wand, keeps the stick. He wants to be able to get Radiance as fast as possible. One of the greediest farmers out there, and definitely one of the best one, if not the best one, in terms of just solely how to farm. Like he knows how to farm, and his team also enables him in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about farming patterns a lot, right? And K1 is one of the masters of that when he knows how to push out a lane, how far, how many last hits he can go for, which creep camps to clear out first. As BeastCoast will look to open things up in the mid lane, but Chris Luck's blink unsuccessful. All under dire vision now as well, as they will get the D ward going. Stinger now having removed 2 observer wards from Vici in the past 30 seconds. So that vision from Dire a little bit lacking now, just 1 towards the top rune spot. And I think that's about it, yeah.
Radiant are scared.
Poyo
Oh, he
gets hexed. How's he seen him through the trees? Have they got any more stuns? I mean, in comes PYW, Ice Blast onto Shadow Shaman. I don't think BeastCoast were expecting them to catch him either. Poyo still getting closed in on though. Viper Tiny from the left-hand side, flanking in towards the Terrorblade, but there's a DD puck here. On towards Stinger, the puck jumps in, and Viper, the second casualty of war.
Big kill. Looked like a promising move. Shaman finds him in the trees, but he doesn't take that much damage from Shadow Shaman wards anyway. A bit too tanky. And this puck, Ori is gonna go ham this game. Like, I've seen Ori at the start of the season, didn't look the hottest, but after their second series, he just popped off. Like, I don't remember Ori having a bad game. You know, he's always performing. No matter if team is winning or losing, you can rely on Ori that he's gonna do some amazing stuff. We see Ancient Apparition, double Fluffy Hat, tanking up so that he can be blown up by Tiny. Same goes for Earth Spirit. He's keeping one because he's a strength hero, so gets more HP.
I think the story you've described there of Ori is like the story of Vici Gaming as well, right? The consistency. Feels like everyone is performing their role, even though, you know, maybe draft goes a little bit awry or something poorly happens. They still know how to fulfill the expectations of their playstyle and their draft. As the tier 1 tower collapses mid lane, Poyo and Ori helped out by Old 11. And BeastCoast looking for this secondary timing now. You know, Tiny's blink was one. Magnus, the second blink dagger up, the double threat. Something that could kick off these team fights for them. And then the third timing, like you've been mentioning, is that K1 Wraith King. And he must be getting close now.
He's getting close. He just needs 100 gold to finish it off after these big Radiant, well, my brain's not working today, Gary. Big Ancient Camp stack, he will have it.
I see the clock hit 15 minutes and I know that, you know, Radiance is a minute away. It's always there for him. It's Chris Luck. And a good skewer back into the RP. They're focusing Timbersaw heavily. Ice Blast in towards them with the Magnetize and the damage over time, but it looks like Old 11's just dead. PYW dragged back into the Shockwave and the Radiance comes in. So BeastCoast, they win a team fight around that triple timing they were looking for, and momentum starting to build for them.
This is the perfect timing from BeastCoast. You get level 2 Reincarnation, you get Radiance. This is where you want to take the fight. And Vici Gaming kind of brought the fight to BeastCoast. And now they can go on the mid tower, they drop Shadow Shaman wards. Should be an easy one. Ori, Invis though.
Oh, look at that! Observer ward spots DY. Great jump from Chris Luck, blows straight through the AA. Still looking to defend this mid tower though. Poyo and Ori, the coil towards the two cores. Magnus silenced up, and the roll in from PYW, looking for Chris Luck. They blow through Whisper, but the Tombo, the big blast through from Chris Luck, destroys PYW as BeastCoast are still looking to pressure that mid lane. They got the tower, but sticking around. Poyo did pop Metamorphosis here, and they want to think about the jump. The K1's nowhere nearby though.
They got what they came for. They got the tower, and this ward should get devoted because the way he jumped, it should reveal it. In the end, Terrorblade actually decides to go for Manta style.
Oh, really?
Like, there's literally nothing you can dispel.
Poison attacks, dodge Wraithfire Blast, dodge RP. But no, I'm pulling.
I think it's more of like
grasping at straws here.
Autopiloting kind of a thing happening here, because status resistance is too good to pass on.
So I guess that maybe autopilot, maybe the thought process that if we win one team fight, we can just go with mass TB illusions and break down towers and objectives.
What Manta style gives you is another way of cutting the creep wave.
Yeah.
Which status resistance doesn't. But okay.
Radiant scan. Clips onto DY. BeastCoast. I was expecting them to go and use that top jungle as a platform, like we usually see from Radiant teams. Think about the Roshan. Go for tier 2. Get the outpost. Control the top part of the map, because that's where Roshan lives. But instead, they've come down to bottom jungle. And an unexpected move here, it seems, from Vici Gaming as well. They didn't realize BeastCoast would be here with 5 heroes.
BeastCoast is very good at reading the map, whether they're reading it or they have observer boards, but so far this game has been pretty on point. coil snap, but there's no follow-up.
Well, that's Ori fearful for his life there, right? Chris Luck goes in with a combo, and he's thinking, is there a blink RP? Is there something more to follow through on this? So they forced a pretty good cooldown out of Ori's puck. And it's even more room for Hector. 10,000 net worth on the Wraith King now. Going into that, yeah, Radiant Sange, BKB AC, nothing out of the ordinary. You're talking about autopilot, and this is the K1 build.
Exactly, he pretty much always goes for the same build. Almost never changes what he has in a quick buy. I respect that, because
it's like min-maxing, he knows.
He knows, like he knows what the situation is gonna be. Can't swap things around, it's not set in stone. But yeah, understands getting this casual Sange, which gives you strength, gives you status resistance, and cell HP regen plus lifesteal amplification. And we'll need a BKB to deal with the coil, Earth Spirit. Sunder can't go through it.
Yeah, that Sunder's a good point as well. And BeastCoast not rushing anything. You know, every move has been pretty smooth, very calm and collected from them. A slight lead in terms of net worth. But we do start to get to that point in the game where you're looking for that minor edge, that one team fight that leads into Roshan or into tier 2s.
One thing that I noticed that some carries are doing it, Faceless Voids and Terrorblades, taking the stats. Like instead of maxing out their time walks and reflection, this is only level 1 reflection at the moment on TB.
Oh, even against Radiant's Wraith King. It's pretty nice to have that Wraith King illusion. But I guess stats are always handy too. It looks like 4 staff coming for Whisper there. Standing, king of the hill.
It's very hard to notice the stats. Like you need to hover over the talent tree to be able to see it, and it's tiny. It's just
+2 to all attributes.
You need to pay attention. A lot of math to be done. You see like 4-4, then you're like, wow, that's 8. Took me some time. Sunder 10. +2 talents 12, reflection 13 out of 50.
There's a counter initiation ready from BeastCoast here. Chris Luck's down to half HP. He's kind of stuck in the Serpent wards. And Tiny dead with PYW being pummeled by the wards, but it looks like he's going to be able to roll back on projectiles following him. Might still die as Timbersaw slides into action onto Schofield and Stinger. Terrorblade and an RP catching only an illusion. Whispers whiffed it. K1's Wraith King still trying to battle the Timbersaw, but he chains away. Old 11 might die to Schofield, and he does. A reset and a buyback. Tiny's in onto Poyo.
He's Sunder available.
Got himself Sunder, but he's been chain disabled. Skewer back. The TB Sunders. Full HP again. K1's battering him. They've got a Terrorblade locked down. They've killed off Poyo.
Oh, they had to commit a buyback to actually manage to kill him. Visper, as you mentioned, Viv's that RP. And not too much done. I would love that if it's a status resistance instead of that Mantis. I think that's a huge misplay there. And then get the Satanic, get a Scotty. With Satanic plus a Sunder, you basically have 3 lives.
Yeah.
You can man fight against this Wraith King. They have Lotus Orb, which is a great item on the Timbersaw against Shaman. They need to be able to protect their TB.
It's starting to get scary for BeastCoast. Just like one fight, right? You feel the strength there of Vici Gaming. Even though they kill the Terrorblade, you look at the net worth, the item progression, and the fact that BeastCoast, with that buyback, they didn't secure themselves anything. You know, no top lane push, no mid lane push. They're always falling back and defending, maintaining their lanes.
Buyback to kill the TB, pretty much.
Yeah. I guess they do stop Vici Gaming themselves from going Roshan. But Ori straight out there into that top lane, forcing Schofield to come and maintain the lane while we see a Kaya Sange from the puck here.
Kaya Sange seems to be top 3 best items in the patch right now, I would say. Just gives you everything, a lot of strength, a lot of intelligence. Heroes love to buy it, because it gives status assistance. That's what's important.
Yeah, it's all those Sange items.
And amplifying all your damage as well. Puck mixing things around, going for the 25 damage talent and then going for the spell amplification talent.
Okay. So not going for that phase shift attack that we've seen quite often with that Deso BKB build. So instead, heading into more magic damage. Now, what do you reckon comes next for the puck? Do you want to see Dagon, Hex?
It's either Dagon or Aghanim Scepter. I would prefer Ags to keep them in place so TB has a bit more time to deal damage. Right now, BeastCoast inside the pit.
The scan connects onto Vici Gaming as well. Roshan has lost about half of his HP. And K1 sticks around with the Serpent Wards there, helping him out. Another Toxin Also chucked into the pit while Vici Gaming looking for the wraparound. Whisper, he's immediately jumped, but he gets the 4-step back to high ground. He can reset, jump back in again. Chris Lock with a combo. Looking to blow through this one target of PYW, but he buys back. They want to continue this fight because they got meta up. Reflection stopped by the BKB, so no Wraith King illusion there. Chris Lock held by the RP. They find the Terror Blade, but is he going to take enough damage? He's
going to blow him
up.
up.
He's going to get burst down. Great play from BeastCoast while Whisper looking to escape from the grasp of Vici Gaming because in comes Old 11. The Timber Saw's the true carry. You dealt with the Terror Blade, but Old 11's a maniac.
That was such a great play there from PYW. First, Ori, he jumps in, blinks, and gets the Witchblade on Magnus. So the overtime damage, he cannot... what are we showing, Gary?
Okay, I said Timber Saw's the real carry. I will eat my words. Observer there showing us that Puck did like 6,000 damage compared to 2.5.
Yeah, so he goes in with a Witchblade, cancels the Blink Dagger possibility for a couple of seconds on that. Magnus actually disables him for 3 seconds. Witchblade is 3 seconds, and then you need 3 extra seconds, which is a pretty big deal. So yeah, Earth Spirit rolls in. Instant buyback. He's ready. They have outpost, so he can TP there, and exactly what he does. You know, he knows that he's gonna die. Once he rolls in, here we go.
Yep, buys back. Straight back into the fight again. TP's to outpost. And Old 11 here, this kind of wraparound, forcing BeastCoast to reset. It's a single RP hero. It's the Terror Blade. It's good execution from BeastCoast, getting that kill on TB. But you've still got Puck on the top left side, Timber on the bottom right-hand side, and you're just getting closed in, little fishies in a net as Vici Gaming trap them. And now Ori with the Aegis. Gonna feel incredibly strong. Level 20 as well with that Waning Rift cooldown.
Puck is scary indeed. TB, it feels like he's not tanky enough, even with that Scotty that it's about to be finished to an extra HP talent.
Chris Lock. Deary mate. He goes to clear the bottom wave, kicked around and killed. 50 seconds timer now that Vici Gaming have to play around with. Have they got meta? It was in 30.
They will go for the high ground. If they know that there is no buyback for the 3 minutes on this Tiny. 11, getting some stacks already.
How long an RP?
RP is available in a second, so right now.
Because I feel like that is the most important thing here for BeastCoast. Right now, you know, they need to get like a 3 to 5 man RP to secure a team fight victory. Serpent Wards, Schofield trying to defend his carry. Get K1 away from danger as Vici do come back to defend their top lane. So they don't push high ground.
Still respecting the mag. They have 2 of the best abilities to reposition. We've seen what they can do, even if you're 4 versus 5. Tiny was missing in action, but let's say you're defending the high ground, skewer back into toss back, suddenly you're in Fountain or Tier 4 towers, and you're like, how does this happen? How's this balanced?
Yeah, I mean, we saw a game in the season there. They were against Noping, I believe, like HFN Gyrocopter. BeastCoast were like 20k net worth behind. Gyro was pushing high ground. They tossed, they skewer him into Fountain. Mounted a little bit of a comeback. Some little moves there onto the Timber Saw. Toss back RP, breaking and stacking stuns, killing off Old 11 with a skewer and a crit from K1.
They used a lot of things. Viper ulti, which is a low cooldown. They used the BKB on K1, RP on top of it just to be able to bring him down. And we can see the tankiness coming out from the Timber Saw. Some extra armor from the Lotus Orb. Even if you are broken, you're still going to have the armor. You're still going to keep the reactive armor stacks. So it's really not that efficient. Like, break mechanic against Timber Saw is good if he doesn't have any stacks, so he can gain stacks. But if he already has some, then it's like, yeah, not that good.
Sko. He knows. He's found another one in the trees. The Wild Ranger, the Hunter in the forest. Schofield spots out PYW and allows Chris Lock with K1 to come in with the big stuns and a massive whack down from the Wraith King's big sword. It's a good Ice Blast magnetized, so at least a trade coming out from Vici Gaming.
Okay, and he actually manages to farm gold. Gets that BKB, so it's going to be much easier for him to roll in, not care about the Shadow Shaman. It's very important that Shaman dies for Vici Gaming. They have this mobile heroes, Timber Saw in his face, pretty much the Earth Spirit now as well, and also Puck. Puck, very dangerous. Does he have... Nah, not really. Trying to get that BKB, Ether Lens, Blink Dagger done on him. Something that 11 does is buys Kaya and Sanj, and then disassemble, gets Bloodstone out of it. And uses that, right? Uses that Sanj to get the halberd in the late game.
Yeah, that's a great little swap swap out there.
Radiant's middle tower
And right now,
is
just
under
dealing with the skeletons up top.
And we see players just being much better at utilizing the disassemble mechanic. Polyo also disassembling the Dragon Lance, getting the BKB.
Good.
And now keeping those two bands of Elven Skin
Oh, Stinger.
for the lulz.
Oh, Schofield. 2 supports. They're out in the open. And the big game hunters coming in. A double kill for Ori. Buyback available on one of them. Viper has it. I mean, Shadow Shaman, 707 gold away.
He still buys another Dragon Lance, just buys another Ogre Axe, which like, you have this farming tool, you have this extra range in the early team fights, and then you don't have to buy a component for a BKB.
He still wants to pick it back up as the Aegis does get reclaimed, but a kickback and that damage, oh, it's massive. Forces the first life of Skewer coming through to Old 11. They're trying to focus the Timbersaw down. K1 moves in with the Wraithfire Blast, stuns the Timbersaw up. Old 11, he's dead. Tossed around, but Polyo, he's got this meta BKB going.
They're so slow.
Things slowed down. That's Scardy pummeling into the Tiny. Oh, the Skewering Fountain, though. The catch onto Ori's puck. The chain stuns. Shadow Shaman.
Another skewer.
They've got the TV in the fountain, but K1, he can't get the stun on the real one. Glimmer Cape and run away. 3 heroes down for BeastCoast, but this tier 3 push has been slowed down a little bit. Whisper found by the reflection.
It's time to go back.
A roll back in, though. They're battling K1. Reincarnation ready again. No BKB for him, though. Deals with the illusion. Chasing forward.
DB's like, help me, guys.
This.
Help.
K1 is wanting it. Where are you? You glimmered, but not for too long. I want this Terrorblade real bad. Go on, give it to me. Where's Whisper? He's coming in from the left side, but he's ever so slowly moving towards this fight, and K1's just chasing him. Man to dodge away, and that's got to be it. Vici Gaming are out of there, but BeastCoast hold. They defend their barracks.
That's what matters, just holding that tier 3 tower, and there's always going to be a threat of the skewer, of the toss back. We see it, like you get skewered back into the fountain, Shaman with 1 hex or shackles will keep you in place. Tower, I mean, fountain deals damage, same goes as Ursa, like it's just amplifying damage.
Yeah. You can see that, I think DY just picked up a Force Staff, right? They know they need more maneuverability items to try and get these heroes away from the fountain, away from the skewers, reposition themselves. Because BeastCoast, some sick execution there to force Vici Gaming back from their doorstep. Second Roshan fast spawn is in 1 minute.
Magnus is getting close to refresher.
Ooh.
That's a big one. He also has a Force Staff, has mana boots, so enough mana to actually use 2 RPs. Yeah. Or just double Force Staff, double Skewer into the fountain.
Yeah, toss them, skewer them, force them. Some nice neutral items there going out as well. That quiver for the puck, so powerful.
You like the word powerful, Gary, don't you?
I do. I love it.
It's a powerful word.
Powerful and potent. There's something about that
Po-yo-yo
pleases me. Absolutely perfect. Well, yeah, the idea of that Eon Disc and the BKB for the puck going into the full Octarine and now a Lincoln Sphere. Changing things up for Ori a little bit.
It will give him a defense tool against Shaman, against Viper possibly, not to tank that Viper strike.
Or catch. Serpent wards from Schofield, but in comes Ori. Cancels out the initiation. The combo onto PYW, but he's magnetized the BKB, the entirety of BeastCoast. The coil on Whisper as well. No RP, no skewer, and soon to be no mag. The Force Staff to high ground doesn't work out. BeastCoast lose 2. No trade, no exchange. Straight up Vici Gaming claiming lives, taking names. Chris Luck had to BKB as well to get out of the grasps of Ori. And this is all around that potential Roshan respawn time. It is a long one though.
It's gonna be 2 minutes until the next Rosh spawns. Puck, level 24 with the Octarine core, reducing the cooldowns on his spells. With also -6 seconds Vanning Grip's cooldown, level 20. So it brings it down to 7. He needs CDR item. You know, you play for that minute
Prism.
Yeah, Spell Prism. Still one of the best items in the game, even after the nerfs.
It's absolutely wonderful. I don't want to say powerful again because you call me out for it.
I'm paying attention, Gary.
I know you are. Ever vigilant, Lacoste. Well, a 33.5-minute Solar Crest for the Viper. I guess he did go for the Veil first.
And something we talked about on Old 11, disassembles it, gets a Bloodstone, and now going into Heaven's Halberd. Disassembles the mana boots. My man knows he's busy. He has that APM, needs to be able to get a lot of clicks in the team fight.
Disassembling everything, yeah. Kind of reminds me of that AM build we saw for a little while, like the Mom Echo Saber, and you swap it into Butterfly Satanic and stuff. Oh, the catch. Great Hex and the Shackles, but the backstab comes in. PYW cleared through Schofield.
He can't get it.
Blast onto Whisper means he can't RP, he can't skewer. Vici Gaming running away with his fight. BKB TB forced down onto Chris Luck, while K1 goes with some heavy hits. Needs the puck buy back here. Vici Gaming losing out to the Wraith King. TB and Timber will shove them away from the Roshan pit with 30 seconds to spare. K1 though has the backup and the buyback on Schofield. Face shift comes though. Enough time for Ori to make another advance in the RP whiffs. Oh, Whisper, what have you done?
Whisper.
BeastCoast, one chance and it looks like it's done. Whisper now, he can skewer, he can shockwave, but he's lost out on that RP potential.
And now Tiny without a BKB. Ori, is he gonna chase? He is.
Chris locked down. And BeastCoast now, heads in hands, basically.
I don't know if you heard me, Gary. I called him Whisper.
Whisper.
After he whiffed that RP. They can go inside the pit. It's the second row. She's Aegis plus Aghanim Shard.
It's a rough spot to be in where, you know, there's a lot on your plate, the pressure of the world on your shoulders. You know you need to land these big RPs, but two pretty substantial, significant misses from Whisper in this game so far.
And they will give Aegis to Puck because he bought back in the previous fight.
True.
They need to give him that. How are we looking at that shard? Who's holding the shard? Oh, it's Tibersaw.
Flamethrower time. And Vici Gaming, they know that they are in the driving seat. Pretty massive lead for them, net worth-wise, kill-wise, but it really is just the momentum and the scaling from these heroes, the way they've been executing these team fights, and you know in the back of your head the reliance that BeastCoast has on that reverse polarity, on the skewer tossbacks. If you can outplay those, victory is only steps away. Open up the barracks middle, catapult wave to help them out. And they might even think about pushing towards another set of barracks here. Top lane, yeah, creep wave is already there. K1 TP straight to the front lines. Goes towards the illusions.
He's level 25 now, so reincarnation cost.
Just look at how much
Great
damage
Fire Blast.
he takes, though. They toss him back, they save K1, but Old 11, a tanky boy with a low sword, bounces back the stuns. The skewer towards the fountain, but not quite close enough. The RP will catch him in there, though.
Nice
He's
RP.
in the fountain, sick RP from Whisper, but he still doesn't get the kill. Still doesn't take down Timber. Old 11, powerful as ever. Finally burns by the Chris Lock combo. The Arax have fallen, though, and Ori coils the rest of them, making sure there is no response, no answer to the questions being posed by Vici.
Vici Gaming, they came for the second set of barracks. That's what they got. Maybe he could have lived if he popped the Hood of Defiance, Heaven's Halberd, already used the Bloodstone, used that Essence Ring on top of it. We're talking about the Spell Prism. We just have to call it, Gary. And now Puck will be the one holding it, has a Lincoln Sphere done. A bit limited on the slots, so Power Treads should go into his backpack with that Lincoln Sphere ready.
BeastCoast needs something drastic now. Illusionist Cape, good for the Wraith King. Leveler grabbed by the Earth Spirit. Nice little Cyclone Ring there for Vici Gaming as well, I believe.
It was a great RP when he turned and put him inside the fountain while he was on the low ground.
That was good.
It's do or die time pretty much for BeastCoast. They need to possibly get a buyback, which he does not have. Shadow Shaman Wars drop. It
is a 5v4 here. And they've got RP cooldown, what we're looking at. It should be coming up soon. Coils there onto K1 and Schofield. RP in 30, Refresher Orb ready. Vici Gaming make the jump on Schofield, catching Shadow Shaman. They've blown up that support with the control, and K1's the next target for them. 5 seconds for the Timber to respawn, and Whisper's been found in the back lines. Ori is toying with him, making sure he doesn't have any recourse, just has to slip away and escape. But I think they'll keep tabs on him. That Waning Rift, jumping straight back to Whisper, dead for 100 seconds. Didn't get a chance for 1 RP, never mind 2. And Ori's not even done. The aggression from this man is insane. Orbing and jumping, rifting and pushing towards K1, allowing Old 11 to close the gap in towards Wraith King, and another waning rift jump. Chryslok is needed here to stop the advance from Vici, but he might have put himself in harm's way. Reincarnation still claimed, and Chryslok's tiny dead. With buyback though, might be able to come back and fight this around their throne, around the tier 4s, but the Ice Blast is a good one. Will hold BeastCoast in the fountain.
Ori used like 20 Waning Rifts and Illusory Orbs that fight. Has enough mana sustained with his item build and the cooldown reduction. I believe this might be it. No buyback on Magnus for 3 minutes. He already used it. They need the toss back. They need the RP.
A great play. They put him in the fountain. He's dead. Old 11's gone, but Terrorblade and Pluck still these big targets. The Shackle's there, but the Force Staff away. K1 moves to the target of choice. Poyo, standing his ground, turns the beat down into the King, takes his first life and has the BKB as well. Good Ice Blast forward, and Ori, he picks away at K1. They're back in the fountain again, but BeastCoast aren't out of this just yet. The throne is still standing.
Magnus, 20 seconds until he's back.
They have the Hex and Shackles, but not enough damage to kill off the Puck. They're dealing with these TB illusions, and Ori, another round of spells. The artillery lands.
Ooh, they're gonna respect it. They're gonna respect Magnus respawning in a couple of seconds. Double RP, they saw that refresher already. And my man 11, he loves to be in enemy fountain no matter what. Either it's
he's not got a choice.
Either it's him diving it or if they put him there.
I'm going to put in that fountain a fair number of times. Oh, Arcane Blink Dagger. Really, Ori? Do you need it?
What about Arcane Rune on top of it?
Does he need it?
Not really, but does he want it? Yes, indeed.
Yeah, absolutely.
So right now, it's a 5.7 second cooldown on Silence with the 425 duration. It's going to be close. It's almost going to be perma Silence once he gets that.
I'm worried for his fingers, man. He's gonna get repetitive strain injury or something. The amount he's spamming these spells.
No, it's only for Bristleback. Bristleback players, QW, keep repeating it once you get the Aghanim Scepter.
Just get yourself a macro button that spams QW over and over.
Whenever it's off cooldown, just click it. The only thing you need to worry about is having enough mana, pretty much, when you play Bristleback.
Something here that, like you mentioned, Ori not really struggling with. Has plenty of mana. 3,000 in the pool. And almost 30 in the regen.
3 heroes with the buybacks right now. It's 11, and it's both supports from BeastCoast.
Oh, yeah. 50 seconds for the Shadow Shaman. And there we go onto K1. The speed at which they take his HP down, and that PYW roll secures the kill on Shadow Shaman. Reincarnation, the RP skewer. Put Puck into the fountain. Oh, the RP second one cancelled out. I think he tossed him. So the Puck is out of there, and BeastCoast, they lose their chance. Wraith King's first life down. Stinger tries to stand and hold his ground in front of the Ancient, but the Scard is slow from Poyo. Too much to contend with. Another combo. Chryslok comes in, but no toss back. He's getting wailed on. The long-range hits coming down and raining on the Tiny. BeastCoast cowering in their fountain and calling the GG.
They call it in the end. BeastCoast were pretty much fighting with 6 players. They had 5 players plus a Fountain. Fountain was the secret player that they needed. You know, those tossbacks, those skewer back to the Fountain. It's just too much damage. In the end, the Terrorblade becomes too massive. Ori was popping off as he did pretty much every single game that I watched. I didn't watch, you know, all the games because sometimes we have to work, but yeah, Ori has been very impressive lately, no doubt about it. They ruined Shadow Shaman, like Earth Spirit plus Puck. Every single time they see him, they catch a glimpse of him, straight on top of him, not be able to use any spells in the team fight.
Yeah, I think, again, the story of Vici Gaming, like Tsunami had said previously, it is that stable, consistent baseline. They know that target acquisition for them is good, like you mentioned on the Shadow Shaman. They know who to pick off first, how they set up these team fights. And when your laning stage goes well across all 3 lanes for Vici Gaming, BeastCoast needed to pull out so many, nuanced, cheeky plays, the RPs, the skewers, the tossbacks, and the refresher orb there for Whisper, unfortunately not really paying off towards the end. Couldn't get too many combos out. But yeah, when you're on the back foot draft-wise and then game-wise, can be a bit of a struggle, can't it? So we'll pass it over to Rich and the boys.
Yeah, let's toss it over to the smart boys.
Let 'em have it.
With equal caliber opponents within their region for 6 weeks straight, then Major, and then another 6 week, it's that just the smallest amount of effort can have such a big impact on a scene that desperately needed it.
Yeah, that instant infrastructure, that instant discipline that comes along with it, paying dividends. But as we look at the draft right now, they don't want to mess with Timber, and that definitely does seem like a prudent choice. But this
Who do you
opens
want
up
to
the way
mess
for-
with then? It's going to be Nick's assassin then. If you
Will
want to
they
mess with
take it
something.
themselves is the question. I was pretty shocked. Like I tried to call it during the draft that they would ban Timber, pick Wraith King.
Right.
I was pretty shocked that they left it in the pool with the lineup that they concocted.
That's
Does
true.
BeastCoast just go AA?
What's the
Yeah,
best-
so
Oh,
this
the
was
Nick-
something that
okay.
Vici did against EG, where they actually ended up banning out their own Nyx assassin. If AA is in the pool, then Vici will take it. I don't know if BeastCoast will be quite as eager. They may go with Snapfire or Mars. I think Mars will probably be first faced by one of these teams.
I think A is the highest priority, but they go Grimstroke. Is that setting up a Doom,
Yeah,
or
maybe.
what's going on here? Why Grimstroke?
Let's say that the Grim is to set up the Doom. Why would you want to set up a Doom right now?
It's a bit of a denial pick. Old 11, I think that is his favorite offlaner right now for Vici Gaming as a whole. I don't really know if I like it as much in Whisper's hands, but maybe throwing Vici off would be the best course of action. I'm surprised they didn't go Leshrac either, because like that was also first face banned by Vici.
Very good point. Yeah, and that's not just in this series. That has been throughout the entire tournament. But Tsunami, oh, they're going to take the Mars and the AA right off the table. Yeah.
You can go Doom. I think it's okay, but I don't really.
Doom
feels,
is pretty rough against both those heroes.
Yeah.
You're almost always going to get hit by the Ice Blast, and you are 100% reliant on walking around. And the Mars arena just screws you.
Yeah.
You want to chase people for 20+ seconds on Doom, and any long duration AOE control doesn't even have to be a stun. It just prevents you from running around. Is
Puck
really good to
coils,
do.
the
Yeah, exactly.
overgrowths, the arenas.
You
Yeah.
do not want to be forced to stand still, limiting your mobility. As Wraith King,
5 seconds remaining.
just in theory, is super good against Ancient Apparition. Ancient Apparition is always paired with heroes that just murder anybody in that single volley of spells.
Right.
And Wraith King's got two lives, so it makes sense that they want to run it back. It's just, I think it's going to be more enabled this game because they already took out the Timber Saw, and now they can enable themselves by eliminating the bad carry matchups. as
Like the
game
Terrorblade,
scales.
which they
Terrorblade
banned out.
is one of his worst matchups as the game scales on, and I think it's probably his worst matchup this patch, meaning out of all the heroes that are viable,
Yeah.
it's his worst matchup. Like anti-mages and PLs can be a problem, but
I mean,
but
the mana
this
burners,
patch-
Wraith Kings are more than happy to build a shard these days.
Yeah.
So even the mana burners in general, I don't consider to be too big a concern. It's mainly the slows. Anyone who can kite Wraith King, he is very, very irritated by. It's just that you had mentioned in the first panel that you thought that the best way to get in BeastCoast's swing of things was the mag plus the Wraith King. So do you think that they're going to go back for it? Because I don't think the mag looked that great. In
I don't
Game
think Wraith King needs a mag specifically. If they want to, I think Wraith King is the one exception to all the archetype of heroes I wanted Hector on, like these Diffusal building, Yasha building.
1. Yeah.
Heroes that normally want to build a farming item that are enabled by the mag. He had a mag and he still won Radiance.
He did. Yeah, that's true.
So I'm fine if he wants to neglect the mag. I don't think Wraith King needs that. He doesn't need a farming enabling tool. You know, he's got the skellies. Unlike a hero like Spectre that we saw the other day.
Yeah, if anything else, I am putting all my eyes on Chrysluk's hero. Because Chrysluk in game number 1, the Tiny, was not enough. I'm fine if they last pick him. They don't need to pick him in an earlier phase, but you need to give him something that needs to have more of an impact on the late game, because I don't think you're going to be able to mow down Vici quickly enough in the first 15 minutes, unless you're on EG's caliber, which EG was able to do it against Vici. Let's hope maybe if BeastCoast want to take that same approach that they can do it.
What are you thinking for Chrysluk? You know, I always think like something like Bat Rider. You know, like what do you want to see for Chrysluk?
Against AA.
A Spirit?
A Spirit. I was going to say Spirit immediately. Ember is the #1 candidate, but they banned it second round last game for Vici. Makes sense that they're going to ban it again. It's just encompasses Chrysluk.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Ember.
And, I mean, Chrysluk and plus the Wraith King. Because I think that K1 always has a very, very consistent carry performance no matter what. That game, I was in game 1, I was shocked that the net worth differential was like so small. And then always K1 was at the top, and I was like, oh yeah, par for the
That's
course.
just Beast Coast, man.
Yeah.
The sad thing about that last game is that's what every game with Beast Coast is going to look like.
Yeah, and that's why I
Now,
was
can
like,
your draft please be content with that exact picture? And that's why the Tiny I was so upset about.
yeah.
Yeah, no.
Because you know what's going to happen.
Every
Like,
time.
please take a screenshot of the net worth chart in Beast Coast games at 25 minutes
Dude,
into the
I
game.
bet.
Hector, 3 enemy cores.
Yeah.
like, it's going to happen. Maybe
why I'm-
that requires you to ban the TB. Maybe like that's the problem. You know, I'm flaming the last pick. It might have been that they needed to just ban out the heroes that outscale Wraith King for all I know.
Yeah, I guess.
That could just be the issue. Maybe they are not used to enabling Hector that way. A lot of moving parts. Had this discussion with Aoi on the panel. I'm talking about why it didn't work. For all I know, it could have been 10 other reasons, and mine are just a load of crap. You know?
But yours makes sense. I see the symptoms.
You know what I'm saying, though? But
Yeah,
it could be the cause, but you never know.
Gaming will take the Lina for themselves.
I like it. Mars Lina, potentially mid Lina, but most likely not. Really strong lane against the Wraith King. Super low base armor, two base armor. Tons of physical damage. Mixed damage, but mostly right clicks at the end of the day.
These days, yeah. I wonder if this means that Vici might be setting up for Phoenix now. Because they take the Lina out of BeastCoast's hands, which Chrysalek would have been able to
I don't
play.
think they're going to reveal that. I almost certainly think they're going to pick their carry because your Lina is flex, even though I'd say it's 80% going to be a 4. And you also see the carry matchup already.
Why do you prefer Lina 4?
It just goes really well with Mars, and it's good against Wraith King.
Okay.
You especially don't want to Lina core now because
Yeah, that's true.
it's just so bad against Clock.
And now that they have the clockwork,
I'm down for a PA. PA for Vici looks real nice. Maybe they have to save it till last. I wouldn't hate if they draft their mid laner now, but that chance of a flex.
Why are you liking the PA here?
It doesn't die to these two supports, and it's one of the better synergies with AA in lane. You both just have spells you toss out non-committally, kind of consistent harass.
would you prefer PA over Morph?
Morph would be fine, but you also want a hero that generally builds Satanic against Wraith King, so Morph's okay.
Okay.
The idea is that Wraith King, his losing condition is at some point he's hitting you, and you just hit him back.
Yeah.
And so that's why the Satanic's usually important. You saw it happen, I think, 4th, 5th item for Terrorblade last game. He got the Paladin Sword.
I know, right?
Dream.
He got the Paladin sword, and he was holding onto that possessed mask
and
on
he
the
had the-
Terrorblade.
I noted it, by the way, for the people at home. Last game, he chose between a Vambrace and a Possessed Mask, and it shows you how important the sustain game is against Wraith King, because he kept the Possessed Mask. That's supposed to be a tier 1 item.
I know, right?
Vambrace is a tier 2 item.
Especially for an illusion
Balance.
carry like Terrorblade, you're
The stats
not
are
taking
so good,
stats.
and the attack speed, yeah, it's so good.
Wild.
Okay.
What?
My biggest emphasis about the PA was that it doesn't die to the clock, and it can pick and choose its aggression because it has innate mobility. So, Faceless Void,
Why would they
probably
pick
just
that?
a more meta hero.
Yeah, but why would
to
they
be
pick that
honest.
against Wraith King? I thought people usually pick Wraith King into Faceless
Let's be
Void.
clear, there's two types of... Okay, I'm spoiling a concept of a video.
Ooh,
There's-
tell me.
There's two types of Faceless Void. There's the
Okay.
Mask of Madness MKB Void that kills you during the Chrono.
Yeah.
And there's like the Manta Diffusal Maelstrom Scotty Satanic.
In that order?
I'm saying like all type, like
Oh,
I'm
okay,
saying
okay.
like these mesh of items.
Yeah.
Where his whole idea is to take a 40-second long fight and bash you a bunch of times and
Yeah.
abuse Time Walk, and
That's
it's
such
a
crazy coincidence.
It's a
I
what?
was actually gonna make a YouTube video about that.
What the hell? Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to compare notes.
I'm gonna have to talk to my editor, make sure he gets it out before.
Wait, have you already recorded the content?
Yeah, I already got it done, man.
You're like 3 steps ahead of me.
He's already got the thumbnail and everything.
I've only got a couple notes on the freaking notebook.
I'm sorry about that.
Okay, so this is why Faceless Void was not a hero last patch. Before 7.28 is what I mean by last patch. Beastmaster was one of the most broken heroes in Dota.
Yeah,
Faceless
the
Void.
he
Necronomicon?
really didn't handle Eaton Axe very well. But do you like this Beastmaster pick here?
Indeed. Yeah, it's not his specialty. Leave that to the other dudes. So what happened here is that he's really bad against low cooldown push. That's Faceless Void's kryptonite.
Yeah, but that was 7.28 Beastmaster.
I'm saying that they're going with that, but it's not the same.
Okay.
Right? That's why Faceless Void's so prevalent right now. Last
Sure.
patch, if you got a Necro book, Faceless Void's booted. He's not going to go jungle.
Yeah.
And in the mid-game team fights, he's going to try to take these long drawn-out fights with the time walking, just burning his mana. And I think the removal of Necrobook was the biggest buff to Void in any patch I've ever seen.
And yet BeastCoast still picked it.
And they still picked it. But my concern's the laning phase. It's Clockwork Beastmaster. That's pretty weak. Like, it's not the best synergy between the two. Maybe it's a mid Beastmaster. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't think I've ever seen Chris Luck play it, but...
I mean, I'm sure he played it when 7.29 first came out and everyone was going Scepter build, but aside from that, yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure I could teach my mom to play that.
Just press Q.
Yeah.
We want that carpal tunnel.
That was our role playing during the DPC.
Yeah, I know.
Did you see those games at all?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that was sad.
Oh yeah, you know the Twitch chat.
I was literally in chat just going, eat axe. I loved that. I was hanging out. But yeah, no, I know my mom's definitely watching the stream right now, and she just heard you say that, and she's like, "Oh, I wonder if he would teach me how to play." Like, yeah, oh, man,
Please, Rich.
that's gonna be rough. But the question is, do we feel like one of these teams is going to have a rough game with what we've seen so far in the drafts? That Phoenix, good read on that. Tsunami, they see it as well, and they actually do try to ban it out.
I think they were gonna. Wait, that's kind of surprising. Because what are you thinking? They're gonna last pick their 4? I guess Phoenix was just such a good pick that it might just be worth it.
Yeah, but I think that you were right that Clockwork discourages Lina core, and so and as you said, the lane with Mars Lina is strong. I definitely feel like they're going to pick. I guess BeastCoast covered both their bases. They ban out a mid if it's going to be Ori's hero, so Death Prophet's banned out, and they'll ban out a PYW Phoenix.
Pick something disruptive.
For BeastCoast?
Luck. Just something disruptive. The Bat would have been a good one. Storm Spirit. Something that's just gonna make fights
Leshrek's still in the
more
pool.
chaotic. Nah, man. Leshrek's gonna stand in front, no save, just get
10 seconds.
Oh, yeah,
thrown
there's
out
no
an
save.
ulti to just die.
Unless Grimstroke gets the shard, but that's a post 20-minute kind of thing.
Come on, chaos. Let chaos reign.
All right.
Don't pick a warlock, but you can let chaos reign.
He played mid Snapfire.
That hero does make it rain, but it's not what I'm thinking. I want a mobile hero that just draws out. Oh, okay. That's kind of chaos. You can go like the Ags Torrent build and stuff.
Yeah.
I just think that Vici's lineup is so combo based that you would like to make it that much harder for them to throw it out. I think Vici is a team that they're almost always going to execute team fights really well. This is a hero that I can get behind.
Where do you want the Lina?
I was gonna say you might just leave Lina mid against it, but it's also a really nice like melee abusing game, like a Monkey King, for mid lane.
Ooh.
Death Prophet was a good ban. That abuses melee heroes.
Yo, I like that Monkey King. I think that could get away with a lot this game.
Might just be too bad in the mid lane this patch. Nobody's picking it.
We've seen it come out to play a few times. It hasn't looked bad.
Storm. Choose your hero.
Ori Storm Spirit.
So the cool thing about these last 2 picks for Vici is they're directly addressing this Clockwork because he's their instigator for the first 15 to 20 minutes of the game. Like Beastmaster's going to stay bottom, Wraith King's going to do his own farming thing, Kunkka's going to be mainly playing around the mid lane, occasionally rotating. Clockwork's the catalyst. Clockwork just does jack shit to Storm Spirit and Void. Like, they just walk away or ball lightning away.
Yep.
So I think that if they had picked a hero like the Razor to dominate the Kunkka or the Monkey King, that maybe Schofield would have been able to just tear him apart. I do like BeastCoast's draft a lot better this game than I did previous game, but I don't think it's quite enough. I think Vici's the slightly better team, and I think BeastCoast might have needed like a slight edge.
On paper, I agree with you, but on emotion, come on, BeastCoast. They have stuff in their wheelhouse. It's K1 Hector on Wraith King. I think that the Kunkka is off the wall enough. It's not as cowardly as the Tiny.
It's a very Chris Luck hero.
It is, for sure. And I think that if they're gonna put all the chips in, because boy do they need this victory desperately. Come on, BeastCoast. You got this for game number 2.
They very much do need it desperately. A very good point from Tsunami. If they are not able to get this win, they are facing the chopping block. Let's see if they're going to be able to stay in this or if they're going to be dancing very close to elimination.
Yeah, I maybe would prefer if that Beastmaster was a Doom instead. I've been talking to you, like, I hope this is Doom. And now, pick Doom, you have a Grimstroke, not just because of that, but, you know, Faceless Void and now Storm Spirit. If you potentially got the double Doom off, but they got what they got. Kunkka, I want to see what the item build is going to be. I've seen a lot of Kunkkas in high-level pubs going for Orchid. As, like either Armlet Orchid or you get Orchid in this specific matchup so that you have Silence against the Faceless Void, Silence against the Storm Spirit. This is definitely that item that I would love to see on Kunkka.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and he definitely has to be that tempo setter for BeastCoast, and like BSJ was saying, the clockwork, a lot on his plate to get these early.
It's a good clockwork game against the supports, not so much against the cores where Storm Spirit can zip. Faceless Void with the time walk, but both supports have no way of getting out of the cogs. You can even ruin Mars's game with that hook shot, with the battery assault.
And this time, they don't have to deal with a Timbersaw, right? They've got 3 strength cores again. No Timbersaw to have to mess around with. As Bounty Runes going to go 2 for 2. Left-hand side picked up by BeastCoast.
Timbersaw, even after all the nerfs throughout pretty much every single patch, the hero finds a way to be broken.
Yeah, just find that itemization, find out your power spikes, Lacoste, you know?
Yep.
Get into level 3, 5, 7, think about your tower pushes around catapult waves. Always looking for that spreadsheet, Dota. So there we have Chris Luck up against Ori in the mid lane. Kunkka already having to deal with the denies and the last hits coming through from the Storm. Not a great start for Chris Luck, but on the flip side, an exceptional one there for Storm Spirit.
Exceptional. He's sitting at 1-1, Gary.
Well, they're denying the range creep, you know, it's always a signal.
But there we go, 3-2 now. Apologies, my apologies.
He brings it back.
You've seen the future.
I know what's up. Top lane, Schofield Whisper. Now, Clockwork Beastmaster, BSJ saying this is quite a weak lane. Double melee, double strength against, you know, AA and Void. What do you reckon the outcome of this is going to be? Any kill threat?
Depends what the skill build on Faceless Void will be. If he puts more points in Time Lock, he is very sustainable to be taken down. One misusage of the Time Lock, they go in aggressively slow from Boar, into Cogs, into Battery Assault. But I want to see like 1-1-1 and then put more points in Time Walk.
Yeah, get that Time Walk going, that's save for yourself. Ancient Apparition, of course, like you mentioned, the supports here are susceptible to Schofield's movements.
Schofield burned all of his mana as well while using those cogs.
Yeah, just spamming them out. Using it as mana burn rather than the actual catch, which we usually see. And that final safe lane, the final side lane, of course, down at bottom. K1 on that Wraith King.
This time around, adjusting his item build compared to the previous game, has Hand of Midas queued up.
Oh, so wanting to scale that a little bit faster into the late game. We'll see how he gets going, because PYW and Old 11 here, the Mars Lina. Yep. We've seen this lane have some tremendous success throughout the major so far. I think Lina Mag, Lina Mars, the skewer, the spear, the displacement tools into Light Strike Array, the execution from some of these players really can be spot on.
The execution from the team also got better, not just by executing the certain combos, it's how to utilize Mars. We've seen more Mars using the spear instead of just using it like in front. They spear people back in away and then use Arena to zone them out. Like, people just got way better at using the hero.
Yeah, learning all those nice new little tricks. Utilizing yourself in different ways. And again, Vici Gaming with a great start to their lane stage. 17-7 Mars, Storm 15-3, slightly stepping ahead of the Kunkka. And Beastmaster starting to lag behind a little bit in terms of CS. As the Light Strike Array on the Grimstroke here. A small connection and the turnaround. The spear missing.
The spear.
Old 11 trapped between all the skellies. And Mars in a spot of bother. K1 gets stunned up by the Light Strike Array. They've chipped away at Old 11 enough here to stop that stack being contested.
Lina has a healing salve, and also he's holding a Ring of Health already, so should be okay. Grimstroke faking the Stroke of Fate. Stroke of Fake, and can't kill it, can't dispel it. Has a healing salve on top of it. It's very important that both, whether you're playing position 4 or 5, you have that extra healing salve in the laning stage just to be able to play more aggressive. I'm surprised we don't see too much of a Kunkka being picked. There was one Kunkka being played on the off lane that I remember from time to time if like the matchup is good. Because you pick up the water runes, you can always go for that X mark into TP play. You can stack. Did he stack anything? Didn't stack.
Doesn't look like it. But yeah, you've got the ability to stack with Torrent, right?
Yes.
The Z axis, you lift them up so they're out of the camp, technically. See that a fair amount from Kunkkas. And yeah, like you say, the matchups, you know, Kunkka, oh, DY, and Schofield, Fairy Fire. Ancient Apparition turns with the cold feet. Schofield has a Fairy Fire himself into the cogs. DY is moving forward. The cold feet coming and first blood drawn.
Nicely done. You need to be aware of those. Fairy Fires, the magic stakes, gotta be able to do quick math in your head.
Adding up all those numbers, knowing that burst regen is there. That means DY is going to be able to bring out more salves for his carry, keep the Void topped up in that top lane. And Storm Spirit drags Kunkka back into that tower range, but the creep aggro and is there as well as a glyph to make sure Chrislock doesn't get stuck. But yeah, we've seen a fair number of these Kunkkas, you know, against Invoker, against Lina to some extent. Kunkka, the Vortex into the cold feet, and that nice little blast out from the DY.
They try to go for a bottle refill on top of it, but too many buttons to be clicked there. It's more important to focus on the kill.
It does mean a bit of pressure comes the way of Poyo. Lane dragged across by Schofield and Whisper here, and Faceless Void having a few struggles connecting with the wave. But DY with a good deep ward and the ability to spot out some of these potential stacks that should be coming from the BeastCoast side.
Faceless Void is putting more points in Time Walk, which we discussed about. It's much safer choice. I don't think they should be aiming for the kills. A lot of overtime damage, mid lane.
That Vortex cold feet, man. The combo from Ori and DY. Chrislock, Fairy Fire, bottle charges. He's away and out of there, and the X mark back into the torrent.
That's K1 TP.
K1 TPs. The position 1 carry comes in, grabs the gold. Thank you for the kill. Harvesting the Ancient Apparition's bones while bottom lane, Stinger's left open, but a sick ink swill. Catches both of them into the LSA and the spear. Oh, no Fairy Fire, does he? But he's got a salve, he wastes it. Still dies.
Vici Gaming uses that information. They see Hector TPing mid, instantly start playing aggressively. They also have a deep ward at the bottom, scouting things out near the crystal to be able to see where Grimstroke is going to come from. And another smoke.
The big crystals. Who's smoking here? A DD Storm. Oh, they're coming up to the top, wanting to alleviate some of that pressure that Faceless Void has been suffering from.
They're ignoring, sorry, completely ignoring Clockwork there. Courier?
Yeah, Clockwork. Okay, Courier. And onto Whisper. And he's roared up the Storm Spear, and he's pretty speedy with a phase boost. He gets himself out. Did have to use the Roar defensively, but Vici Gaming, yeah, giving up on any chances of a kill.
Bottom lane is going so well for Vici Gaming. 41-22 on Old 11, while Raid King is sitting at 17. He's about to hit level 6, while Raid King is sitting at level 4 at the moment.
That's probably why Hector wanted to move into mid lane to try and get that kill. He's had enough of Old 11. Might even be getting to that point where K1 dips into the jungle and gives up on that bot lane, just ditch it. Say to Vici Gaming, it's all yours, you can have it. Because Mars is able now to solo 1v2 down here.
And there's the Arena.
And he's level 6.
He times it perfectly.
All right, Arena towards that Wraith King. Phantom's Embrace stances him up, and the stuns with the Torrent connecting perfectly. The rotation from Chrislock's Kunkka slaps him with a Tidebringer.
Times his death perfectly more, because he wanted to go in while the range creep is dying, gets level 6 off of it, uses Arena, but good rotation there from Chrislock. He gets, who got the kill? It was Chrislock, yeah. I want to see some stacks being made. The Ancients are not being stacked. Kunkka definitely shines at clearing those. With just the phase boots, you have enough damage to clear them.
On top lane, Chrono Cold Feet. Onto Whisper. Beastmaster doesn't stand a chance there against the time locks. And K1 also dying bottom. They got this Arcane Rune Storm Spirit. He's popped it and he runs forward, gets himself a double. The rotations of the mid laners here proving vital for them as up top, Schofield traps 2 in the cogs. He's stuck here though with Poyo, who's still got Wand and Time Walk, and with these bashes coming, he'll Time Walk forward and finish off Scope. Disaster strikes for BeastCoast, and Vici Gaming
all over
holding.
the place. Like, they're getting multiple kills across all 3 lanes. What's Kunkka building? Still didn't queue anything up. I mentioned the early Orchid that he could go for. It's a snowballing item. You need to stay ahead to use it, otherwise it might feel a bit lackluster. Also wouldn't mind seeing... Armlet is not that great against Ancient Apparition, even though I saw some players still buying it.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he goes the Orchid or he might... a lot of the times, Chris Luck, when he's in this kind of position, he just like buys a BKB and says, I need BKB, don't care if it's my first item, let's go fight. Because as the panel was saying, you look at the net worth, and usually it's K1 up at the top, mid-game, as they get a good silent stun here. Good combo, BeastCoast execute it onto Storm.
A bit too aggressive, invading the jungle like that. They were ready. There is one observer ward that scout things out, but not that part of the map. Vici Gaming is a bit limited on tower damage. You have 2 supports who don't deal that much. Same goes for Storm Spirit. Faceless Void needs a couple of items to be able to deal with that.
Oh.
BYW.
Slaughters him. Does get trapped here in the cogs, but he's got so much backup. Old 11 spears the Kunkka away. PYW still chasing Schofield. Good sidestep away from the light strike, but it does mean puts himself in harm's way to PYW's double kill. And Chris Luck in the arena. Any backup for Chris Luck? Doesn't look like it. Stuck there with the cold feet, speared up against the side of the Colosseum, and a triple kill for PYW.
BYW also having a casual Fluffy Hat to be able to not die from the combos, and Clockwork going into 4-staff, a lot of value. Like, this 4-staff is gonna ruin them unless someone is leashed. Meanwhile, Ori mid lane gets the ulti off Wraith King.
He does.
That's pretty big. That's level 1 ulti.
And that's a Wraith King is really struggling. I'm wondering what's going on in the team comms right now. If K1 is thinking, hey, I need 10 minutes to farm, just please give me some room, because this relentless maneuvering from Vici Gaming, finding pickoff after pickoff. 4 to 11, already 10 minutes in.
I don't think he can get away with going for Hand of Midas this game. He might swap things around. Just keep this Gloves of Haste as a casual, because your Radiance timing is going to be around like 20-minute mark. They killed him once, but for the next almost full 3 minutes, he needs to be very careful how he's gonna play. No reincarnation, Beastmaster, Medallion done, going into Hood. They need to play around Beastmaster. He needs to provide the vision, and Clockwork, he has that hook shot available in 10 seconds. Needs to be active on the map. Like, they just need to give some pressure off Wraith King. I see Chris Luck buying Oblivion Staff, so that means that he is going for that Orchid.
Very nice.
Not showing the item, like it might be just the reveal. I would prefer if he doesn't show the Oblivion Staff, because right now he has enough regeneration with just a bottle, full HP, full mana, and then you smoke with it, kill the Storm Spirit.
Reveal it. But yeah, you're right. I mean, the BeastCoast do have a lot in their arsenal to get pickoffs as Schofield finds DY. Solo kills bottom, but in comes Vici Gaming. Ball lining aggressively towards them. The Arena Spear catches, but the Soulbind's there with a 2-man silence. Ori into the back lines, hunting the Beastmaster. The Roar comes though with a Chrono.
Big
In
Chrono.
we go, Poyo, the bashes land, and 2 heroes fall. BeastCoast, they get 1 kill, but they're going to lose so much in the exchange. Kunkka caught out by the light strike. Poyo with a jump in with a time walk. Chris Luck will be tanky enough with the boat buff.
2 kills. They just don't have enough damage right now. AA Blast on a mid lane. Storm Spirit, a bit limited on mana.
He's thinking about going here. Jump in, and out of mana now. Trapped in with a battery assault. Cogs, Ori, was he not expecting this? The Fairy Fire the Wand. Ori zips away, barely enough as the light strike, and Poyo's Void coming in once more. Hook shot. Yes, launched out. But unsuccessful escape from the Clockwork as the 2-man Torrent does catch, but yeah, BeastCoast, they've got the elements there. They've got the chain stun, the silence. They've got abilities to kill off these dire heroes. It needs to be perfect.
If they don't have both, they don't have enough damage. Like, their damage is going to come from the Clockwork, using the hook shot, going in, Battery Assault, follow it up with the Kunkka's combo. The BeastCoast lineup is very cooldown dependent. Yeah, like you need to have your abilities to take a fight. But on the other side, even if there's no chrono, like at least early on, you can still keeping those fights. Storm Spirit doesn't care too much about cooldowns. Ancient Apparition, even without the blast, he will still take the fight.
Like BC needs all of their ultis, right? But Vici basically need one ulti because they've got Spear, Light Strike. If they've got a Chrono or a Mars ulti or an Ice Blast, they are fine to take
and it's time
an
to
engagement.
smoke. This is the Orchid timing. They should try to smoke. There is one available on Schofield. Try to pick off either Void or Storm Spirit. Storm Spirit is showing on the bottom lane, so this is where they're gonna go.
Ideal target. PYW might just be able to tank the gank for them though. X-Mark Bo, yeah, go for the Lina instead. Can't
They want
find the
both.
Storm Spirit.
They want to go for both. Clockwork will hookshot Storm Spirit if he sees him.
And that's why Ori towing that line, the tree line, used defensively. A long ball away as well. There's a big streak to take away from the Lina there as well. I mean, a lot of gold going in towards them as a Roar catches DY, Stinger and Whisper. Getting into that action in the Dire jungle. Mars Arena holding the Beastmaster in place and a Soulbind there. Going out onto the Void and Mars, but no real follow-through, no spells to put into it, so the chase continues. Whisper salves, but cancelled out. The God's Rebuke and Spear from Old 11, catching out the BM. He's speedy, but not enough to get away from Poyo's Time Walk.
It's a bit too much damage. Hector skipping the Radiance as I expected. It's a bit too late to go for it. He was already so far behind, so needs to be able to get the Radiance timing instead of Hand of Midas into Radiance.
Skip that Midas for now. I mean, it might go back for it later on. We'll see how, see how he feels.
Just no, Gary, please.
You never know with Hector.
Get that stupid idea out of your head.
He does love money. And the shiny golden money hand, it gives you money.
More money means more money, exactly.
Vici. All together again. Is it smoke time? Sure is. 4 staff for PYW, so now an answer for that Cogs. And yeah, Mars there with a Ring of Health and a Void Stone.
Yule Scepter coming up to him.
So the Ring of Health was
casual,
considering the Hood or the Vanguard, or
Hood. I still don't mind if he goes back to Hood.
Yeah, interesting. He doesn't finish it off, and you're right. There's the Yule Scepter being delivered. Lotus Orb queued up now, I believe, for him as well, as they eye up K1.
Lotus Orb is great against Raid King, especially against the Grimstroke. If you get the Soulbind on them back, Beastmaster Roar on top of it, like it might be game winning. He could still swap things around, just sitting at 90 gold right now.
And Chris Luck with an Invis rune. Taking good portion of the map there, yeah, it's all circled out. Top left-hand corner belongs to BeastCoast. They're farming quite nicely as well. There's this lead for Vici Gaming after such a tremendous laning stage, only sitting around 3,000. Plateauing out, yeah, you see that, not really climbing too much. But they will come in towards mid for an objective. Tier 1 not being defended by BC. 2 lanes being farmed out and pushed by Vici Gaming. And this is all part of the BeastCoast game plan. Get Hector to the Radiance. That is the main aim of the game here for them. Get the Wraith King as big as they can, as quickly as they can.
Making a move on the top lane, Schofield.
The hook shot in, the vision from the Hawk. Catching out the AA, move out of the Cogs as the Arena catches Whisper on that tier 2 tower area, and it looks like Schofield doesn't finish the job on DY, so Stinger maneuvering into this awkward fight as Chris Luck arrives. The Torrent, the stun, silence not coming through. The Storm Spirit, half HP, and he's fine to turn. BeastCoast have blundered.
Oh, that status assistance already coming out very nicely for the Storm Spirit, Kaya and Sanj. It was almost a disaster. Hawk scouting things out, so instead of a hook shot, he almost landed a Hawk shot there. You know, it could have been different. And with the 4 staff on Lina, she can force people out of the trouble. Ancient Apparition has that fluffy hat, might get either a Glimmer Cape or he might get a 4 staff for himself as well on top of it. I think 2 4 staffs might be a bit too much. You want to like get Glimmer and the Force, and then you can go back to 4 staff if the game drags, if you get the farm.
Oh, Whisper. Speared back. In comes the Faceless Void as well. Wasn't expecting him. Any bashes? Any bashes, Poyo? You're not going to find any. Whisper still dead though, with a God's Rebuke from Old 11 playing.
They don't need him. And something we discussed the previous game, Terrorblade also keeping time dilation. Like it was Reflection level 1, this time around Poyo will get only 1 point in time dilation. 4-1, 4-1, that's 10 plus a talent 1. So yeah, he has 2 extra attributes. He will keep it, like he prioritizes just being more tanky.
Go for those stats instead. Well, old 11 might have stepped a bit too far forward here. Yulesed up, the 4-staff whipping, but a chrono. 3 of them caught inside, and they're focusing the supports. The Ice Blast, well placed. Light Striker Ray comes in as well. And Vici Gaming, they've just got this one on lockdown. K1 does lose his reincarnation. Pollo still wanting to battle him. They've got the stuns of the K1. This Wraith King, he's dropping so low so quickly. Faces forward, finds the Stinger. Schofield, K1, 4 heroes dead. BeastCoast just don't have a hope.
Not enough damage. They don't have, like, their damage should be Kunkka combo. Beastmaster plus Grimstroke need to be using double roar. They need Clockwork to be in their face using the battery assault, maybe even 2 usages of battery assault, but it's tough, like the damage that Vici Gaming is dealing. They go in, AA blast, like they want to clean out 1 or 2 heroes straight away. I love the build from Ori, just more mana regen, doesn't need to go for Orchid straight away. Went for that Kaya Sanj, which seems to be the more popular choice. And now with the Yule Scepter, has not just save against Kunkka, but also has a Dispel mechanic against that silence.
Sure does. It just feels so far that Vici Gaming have great ways of not only initiating but resetting team fights. So no matter whether they're on the front foot or back foot, you know, aggressive or defensive, they've been able to execute with these chronos, these arenas, whereas BeastCoast, they need to be the ones initiating, and a move like this will potentially pay off for them. Schofield trapped in the cogs, Whisper coming back with the Inkswell onto old 11, but he'll dodge it with a Yule Scepter, and it looks like the Mars just too tanky. Even though BeastCoast were the aggressors in this, they lose their support hero, and Vici's still ready to keep on playing with them. The Laguna Blade takes out Stinger, and again, 2 heroes down with no response.
Vici wants to go in, 20 seconds until Wraith King ulti is up.
I mean, Whisper's gone in for a roar, but yeah, Wraith King's being jumped. The Storm Spirit, he's got K1, Illusionary popped out. Doesn't dodge the stun, but they still get K1. A double for BYW in the back onto Whisper as well.
Chris Luck was not close to that fight. They need a boat. They need that damage reduction. On top of it, Vici Gaming on a roll. 11k gold lead already.
Things spiraling out of control. I don't even need to go Roshan just yet. Take all these outer objectives. The tier 2s are pretty simple for them to claim. And yeah, BeastCoast, even though they were the ones with the initiative there, finding a target to go on, Old 11's Mars, so incredibly tanky.
They messed up BeastCoast timing, killing Kunkka 2 times, then killing Wraith King. Wraith King was very underleveled. Didn't have that good timing on a Radiance. What you want to have is Reincarnation, level 2 plus a Radiance, and then you go take a fight.
But everything's so very delayed for BC. And now it's time for that Roshan for Vici Gaming. You've got to know it's happening here as BeastCoast, but whether you can test it is a different story.
Rocket, well, scout him out.
They're moving towards the pit.
But meanwhile on the bottom lane, Ori, Arcane Rune, keeps going.
Straight onto Chris Luck. Yeah, he's got no BKB, he's got no way to save himself. A straight up solo kill, 500 gold for Chris Luck. The Soul Point counteracted by the Chrono. BKB faces forward, Ice Blast on top. Beautiful setup and execution from Vici. Pollo battering away at BeastCoast. And K1 okay with the Inkswell turnaround. They get onto Old 11, but the damage is still lacking. Old 11's fine.
Lena.
He contributes him back. K1's done. And BeastCoast, they've got to be thinking about the GG soon.
Even without executing the perfectly Faceless Void, goes in with the Chronosphere, gets leashed. So Mars uses Yule Scepter, means that Faceless Void can't move. It was max distance, and now they're still gonna get the Roche. Let's see who decides to pick it up. I believe Storm Spirit should get priority here, and he does. It's a full Orchid. Like, I don't know where Ori is getting the gold from.
What's these kills? Killing K1, killing Chris Luck. 7, 1, and 5. And Pollo there we see unkilled, deathless on the Faceless Void. 10, 2, and 5 Lena right up at the top as well.
You give Pollo Faceless Void, this is what happens. Still keeping the 1 point in time dilation. I've seen him go for more points after level 20, and it's only a level 1 Chronosphere on top of it, because it's the worst scaling ability in the game. I'm talking about Chrono. Time dilation scales well, but yeah, you get that 0.5 extra seconds.
Worthless. The slow clap, DY. getting caught out. Old 11 trying to extend this fight a little bit and maybe trade out because Ori's jumped in, dodges the stun. Great Yules into the air. Ori limited on mana, but a dodge away from the Phantom's Embrace for the meantime as he's Lotus Orbed up and Schofield being focused. Old 11 with the Essence Ring. Is he going to be able to? No, he can't buy himself any more space. Another streak taken by BeastCoast.
Finally, they kill 11. 11 has been all over the... I mean, they've been involved in a lot. They have 31 kills, Gary. But, yeah, I think he might overcommit with the Lotus Orb. It's a great item here. It's just that Hood gives him more. So he's going to go back to Hood.
Feeling like he needs a Stinger. Always going to be a freebie there to Ori's Storm Spirit. Like you mentioned, that Orchid coming out so quickly.
Ori's level
Unexpected.
20.
God damn. Level 20 Storm Spirit. You take the outpost. And Vici Gaming, they know, with this first Aegis, they don't necessarily need to be too rushed going for anything.
You show up on the lane alone, there's a high chance you're gonna die.
Storm will find you. And look at him, he saw the Beastmaster a second ago pushing out that mid-wave. Come on then. You're going to show yourself. Orchid from Kunkka. X-Mark not coming.
Even flinching.
Doesn't even try it. And Storm Spirit's back onto the clockwork now. Good torrent. Ice Blast landing. Schofield. He's in the cogs. And Ori, he will respect BeastCoast there as the rest of his squad taking objectives.
Outpost already taken, so bottom part of the map belongs to Vici Gaming. Faceless Void going for a more defensive-oriented build. He didn't get the Aegis, gets a BKB, and now going back to SNY.
And the aggression from Ori, it is just non-stop, jumping in, picking off supports. There's a long line drawn there, I don't know who it was by, but Vici Gaming may be thinking about going up towards this top lane to push it. But reconsidering after they get a couple of support kills, as high ground, it's on the table now. 11 also cutting that bottom wave, makes it all so much easier for them. Wraith King Skellies up on that top tier 2. Ori will just very easily clear that out. Maybe 2-3 waves. Push it across the river at the very least.
Kunkka still has a decent amount of farm. It's just this build, you need to snowball with it. You need to be able to constantly over and over killing Storm Spirit, killing the Faceless Void. It just didn't happen this game.
And Poyo spotted Whisper. It's the chrono onto the Beastmaster. Don't care about these cooldowns being expended if you can get these additional kills as well. The chain stuns. Not a chance to even BKB for Chris Luck. K1 being used up, cycloned into oblivion, lands down on the ground with a thud as the arena holds him in place. Decent Soulbind stun coming through and Schofield trying to battle away into the Roar. They'll catch the Void.
He's super
even through
tanky.
the BKB, but he is so tanky, you're right. BC.
I would not be surprised if they lose one more fight and just call it, even without losing the barracks at all. It's just, this is 18k gold lead, 26 minutes in, Vici Gaming on a roll.
Yeah, and they've got Whisper as well. There's that setup from Old 11, jump in, Yule's catch. Ori running a little low on mana now, but another Cyclone there into the Light Strike from PYW. Kill after kill, BeastCoast filter in and feed away.
I don't see how they come back into this game. Kunkka is not having too much of an impact. It's all about that one combo. Wraith King getting closer to his BKB. So this is going to be a set of barracks for Vici Gaming. If they don't want to rush things, can wait for the next Roche to respawn.
I mean, maybe that Aegis timer, maybe the go on to Ori here could be good for Chris Luck. The silence in, Ori Lotus Orbed and he's fine to ball away. Aegis going to be reclaimed and he's full HP, full mana once more. So BeastCoast, they pop BKBs, but still lose out an entire lane of barracks regardless.
I try to stay positive, see how they're going to come back into this game. There isn't a single big item coming out on their side that I'm going to go and say, wow, this is it. This is what BeastCoast is waiting for.
That's fight winning, or that's game winning, yeah.
Items are just piling up on side of Vici. Storm Spirit now with the Lincoln Sphere, so that Orchid, Beastmaster Roar, Wraith King Stun, like you can easily defend yourself with it, and you're tanky enough. The status resistance, and have another way of saving yourself with the Yule Scepter. Also 2 Force Staffs done.
They've itemized so perfectly, right? The double Force Staffs, the Lotus Lincolns, the BKB and Poyo, everything here just stacking the odds against BC. I mean, Wraith King's BKB there, I mean, a glimmer of hope for BeastCoast potentially. Something they can fight around at the very least. But they've got to be so very crisp and clean with their execution. And when Old 11's invis like this, it's Vici Gaming, they get the jump. They get the jump straight onto Whisper. Light Strike, Grey Laguna play, they blow through the Beastmaster, dead without buyback in a 3-man arena. Force the BKBs early. BeastCoast turn and fight, but the chrono! Poyo comes in clutch, finds them all, and that's it. Vici Gaming, they slam it down, the door's closed on BeastCoast.
They call it. They know. They cannot win this game at all. It's just a clean execution from start until the 30-minute mark from Vici Gaming. Great draft, I gotta say. You know, they shifted this lane to position 4. Old 11 was getting all the farm in the bottom lane, completely shutting down K1. He had double his CS. He had more denies than K1 had actually last hits in the laning stage.
Yeah, again, from draft to laning stage to finish, it has just been such a systematic showing and performance from Vici Gaming, and proving that they are definitely contenders to even just straight up win the major, looking incredibly hot right now, while BeastCoast back to the drawing board. They've definitely got things to reconsider, as their games didn't look particularly competitive against Vici Gaming overall.
It really did not. BeastCoast, they need to reset. Not sure how many more games they have to play. Maybe
a couple of series
probably, but yeah, Vici Gaming, after watching them in Season 2, even though they had to go through other stages of this tournament to be here, they feel super strong, you know, because competition in China is just too good, and someone has to go through the wild cards, someone has to go through that group stage.
Well, that's it from me and the cutest co-caster in the world. It's back to Rich and the boys.